Pretty much everything wrong with this book can be seen on the opening page, as is often the case. This opening line describing the weather and other vague things about the city is completely unnecessary and can be cut completely from the intro, the story. This sentence, "It was evening, and evening was free time, and free time was the time to go," is the worst. At least the edgy lines about suit and the weather could be somewhat justified as setting the tone. This comes off as childish, and even worse, is pretty much restated better in the next sentence. Another thing that makes it hard to read is how every line seems to be dragged out by a series of commas. It's fine to have sentences that do this, but to have multiple of them in a row is quite annoying. Believe it or not, sentence variety does a lot for word flow. Don't you love how the metaphor comparing the city to a spider web is front-loaded and hammered in right at the start? I don't. It's a message that should have been subtly weaved into the narrative. There's this scene where these gang members start clucking at Rusty mockingly, and he thinks there's a few things worse than death, and being called chicken is one of them. This scene feels ripped right out of Tommy Wiseau's The Room, and I honestly don't think it's meant to be a joke. All the dialogue in this book feels uncanny, as in it's similar to what somebody might say in real life, but a little bit off. The characters are also too standard. Rusty is a well-meaning kid who wants to escape his life in crime and is ashamed of the fact that he indirectly encouraged his sister to also join a gang. These facts are what keep him generally in the moral right and give the audience someone to cheer for. That being said, I feel like he's lacking a quirk or some kind of trait to give him more flavor and separate him from the many similar protagonists in the crime genre. For example, maybe the real reason he wants to quit the gang is so he can pursue his true calling in life, interpretive dance. The rest of the cast lacks flair as well as the overall tone. I don't think a single joke was told across the whole novel, and moments to lighten the mood were basically non-existent. This typically wears on the viewer and can cause emotional detachment from the plot. That being said, the book did do a few good things. The problem is they're all in the latter half of the story, and I don't want to spoil it. All I'll say is there was an emotional gut punch about halfway through the book that did genuinely make me feel an emotion. It's right before and everything after that things get more interesting, which makes sense because stories typically get better as they go along. You become more invested in the characters and narrative. The novel also doesn't shy away from hard drugs and intense violence, and it's better than its peers in that regard. I can appreciate that criticizing a writer's first novel is akin to making fun of Leonardo for not coloring inside the lines in kindergarten, but I think it's something we can all learn a little from. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.